All right, guys, welcome to the Unit 6 review for similarity. Let's go ahead and get going. Number one, determine whether two triangles are similar. If yes, write a similarity statement. So when we talk about similarity, the first thing we had talked about in this unit was that you would have to show that all the angles match up with each other and all the sides are in proportion, not the same, but they all make a fraction that's equal to each other. Then we did learn about shortcuts, and there's three shortcuts we talked about. There's SSS, all three sides in proportion. There's AA, two angles match up. And there's SAS. Here, you'll notice that those angles match, so we have AA. So that is enough to show the similarity. The similarity statement would look something like triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. Okay? Number two, what is the length of RV? RV is right there. So again, in situations like this, you need the X, and that corresponds to the 15. And then you need another pair of sides that generally both have numbers. Obviously, we've seen problems where there's X's from both of them, but if they both have numbers, that's really the easiest way. And you have 14 and 10 there. So it's a proportion. You can do, for instance, try that again, 15 over X equals 10 over 14. Cross multiply. I won't do that for every problem. 10x equals 210 divided by 10, x equals 21. And that's all you got to do there. Find x and y. So one thing I'll point out is you're going to have to do two separate proportions, one for x, one for y. And it's usually a good idea when you're doing this to not use the answer you get for the first one to find the second one, just in case you make a mistake, and I'll kind of show you what I mean. So obviously, the 25 and 20 sides correspond with their triangles, and so for x, we're going to take that with 20 in x. So I can do 25 over 20 equals 20 over x. Okay, cross multiply. 25x equals 400. 400 divided by 25 will give you, not 8, sorry, 16. Okay? Now I know that's the answer, and I'm confident it's the answer. But when you go to find y, I would recommend you stick with the 25 and 20 because they're given to you in the problem. You know they're real. If maybe you got x was 12 in the first part, and then you used 12 to find y, you used y and 15, which is going to be what we're going to use over here, the 15 and y. But instead of the 25 and 20, you used the 16 and 20, or the 12 and 20, which you got as the wrong answer, it would make your answer wrong. So my point is just use numbers if they're given to you. It's easier. So cross multiply here. You get 25y equals 300. 300 divided by 25 is 12. That worked out. Number 4, if ABCDE is similar to PQRST, find the scale factor of ABCDE to PQRST in the perimeter. So the first scale factor, we didn't talk about it much this week, but it's a really simple idea. It's the number you multiply everything from one side to get the other. So a couple things here. This is 10, 10. And 15 matches with 21. So as far as the scale factor from this shape to that shape, you just want to figure out 15 times what would give you 21. Because whatever that x is going to be the same that you multiply the rest of the sides by to get the 10, 10, 10, and 20 multiplied by that same number to get the new numbers up there. You divide by 15. 21 divided by 15 is a decimal, which will reduce to 7/5, or 1.4. So if I multiply every side of the small pentagon by 1.4, I'll get the sides for the bigger one individually. Now, as far as the second part, perimeter, perimeters have the same ratio as the sides. So with 15 to 21 as one set of sides that are corresponding, the second fraction of the proportion could be the perimeter of one to the perimeter of the other. Here, the perimeter is 10 plus 15, 10, 10, 20. That's 65. So I'm going to put that there. This x represents the perimeter for that shape, which we're going to find. So cross multiply, 15x equals 1,365. And when you divide by 15, you get 91. All right, scale factor, perimeter. I'm up here on number 5. How are these triangles similar? Well, you just see over here to the left, you have the options. All three sides match here, all three sides match here. No matter what numbers you put in, all sides are going to equal the same thing. So this is clearly SSS. Write a proportion that represents the triangle proportionality theorem. Now, I originally, in the notes, showed you something like this. I put A and B there, X and Y there, and we did A over B equals X over Y. And that to show you the proportion that was there. On the test, though, they're going to not just put the lowercase letters there. They're going to make you write the segments. So this would look something like, SR, pen started to mess up again. SR over RQ equals ST over TU. And that's the proportion. Not solving anything, just write a proportion that represents it. Find the measure of the angles in a triangle if the measures are in ratio of 2 to 3 to 5. Give each number an x and add them up. We're talking about angles, and they don't give you the value, so you know what angles of a triangle add up to. 2, 5, 3 is 10x, not 70. And that equals 180. So dividing by both sides by 10, you get 18. Usually not the final answer, though, because they usually want you to plug it back in. So 2 times 18, 36. 3 times 18, 54. 5 times 18 is 90. You get those. How are the two triangles similar? So it would at first appear that it would be A, because you see two angles, but notice the 92s match, but one's 57, the other one's 41. So it must be that they gave us the other angle, we just got to find the one that matches, right? So let's check. 92 plus 57 is 149. 180 minus 149 is 31. Well, 31 doesn't match 41, so this doesn't look good. 92 and 41 is 133. 180 minus 133 is 47. Only one angles match out of all three, so it's definitely not two. So this actually is going to be not similar. So just because it asks how they are similar, don't assume they are. You want to make sure by testing with the rules we know. A map has a scale of 1 inch to 28 miles. If the actual distance between the two cities is 448, how far apart are they on the map? So simple proportion. It's the fractions are inches over miles. There's no conversion that you have to do. The proportion will take care of it. So half an inch over 28 miles equals, I'm trying to find how many inches on the map when the cities are 448. So cross multiply, you get 28x equals 224 divided by 28, and you are going to get 8. So 8 inches apart on the map. All right? So that's the first page. Let's go to the back page. And here we are on the back page. Give me just a minute to do one little thing that I have to do. I don't know if you see this or not, but it's fine. All right. Solve for x. So we've seen several different problems with lines through a triangle, and sometimes we take the two parts, sometimes we take the two triangles. The way you can basically tell is if I want to do 3 to 5x to the other number, I need this length. Notice they're telling you 12 is the whole side. So that tends to make it easier to do a little triangle and a big triangle. And for a big triangle, that side is 8. So I could do 3 over 8, little triangle over big triangle, equals x over 12, little triangle over big triangle. Cross multiply, 8x equals 36, divide by 8, x equals 4.5, yeah. Find the width of the river. These two triangles are similar. So this little triangle is going to flip around and line up. So you have 7.5 and 10 on the bottom. And then it's a real simple proportion. You can do x over 7.5 equals 100 over 10. Cross multiply, 10x equals 750, divide by 10, x equals 75 feet, 75 feet across. Excuse me. In the figure below, what is the length of xv? So like I talked about a second ago, here's another line through a triangle. This time, you have each individual length of what's cut up. So for this one, you can do 5 over x equals 4 over 11. When you cross multiply, 4x equals 55. Divide by 4, and x equals 13.75. Easy peasy. In the diagram, quadrilateral ABCD is similar to FGHJ. Find the perimeter of FGHG. HJ, excuse me. So this one, oh, maybe I'll take the big one over here. You flip it over. Let's see. That's not a good version. Oh, that's horrible. We pretend that didn't happen. Anyways, I'm going to vamp. Vamp means when you're on a radio show or a podcast and you have to talk while someone's trying to get something done off air or you can't see. Little side note for you. I guess that's better. Anyways, so this is 15. This is A, B, C, D. And this is 12. This is 8. And this is 10. And then I realized after all that it doesn't really matter, except for one thing. This 8 matches with this 12. So as one part of the ratio, you're going to have to do 8 over 12. And then like on that previous problem, the perimeter can be used in the ratio. So on the big one that you do know, 10 and 15 is 25, 8 and 12 is 40, so the perimeter is 40. And for the little one, we don't know it, so we can do x over 40. 45, sorry. Man, imagine if I would have done that with the wrong number. Pretty sure at some point in a review I have, but it's okay. Cross multiply, 12x equals 360, divided by 12. x equals 30. Do y'all need to see that longer? It's a video. You could rewind it or pause it. Man. 14. U, V, and W are midpoints of the side. If UV is 3x plus 8 and XZ is 2x plus 4, what is UV? First of all, UV is a midsegment, and it's going to be half of that. So with algebraic expressions, you know they're not equal as they are. You know that you have to double UV to be the same as XZ. So algebraically, you're going to have 2 times 3x plus 8 equals 2x plus 24. Pen's kind of messing up again, sorry. And so you're going to distribute that 2 because that's what you do with a number in front of parentheses. So you get 6x plus 16 equals 2x plus 24 minus the 2x, you get 4x plus 16 equals 24 minus 16, 4x equals 8, divide by 4, x equals 2. Now the question was, what is UV? So you plug that in. Yep. Fourth period's over. Good thing I have fifth lunch. So UV is going to be 3 times 2 plus 8, which is 6 plus 8, 14. Almost done. The flagpole casts a shadow of 18 feet. So you have some big flagpole. Its shadow is 18 feet. A 5-foot man casts a shadow that's 6 feet. What is the height of the flagpole? That's our x. That's supposed to be 5. So you can do x over 5 equals 18 over 6. Cross multiply, 6x equals 90. Divide by 6, x equals 15. That's the height of the flagpole. And then the last step here, this problem, number 16, you want to find x, gh, hj, and the perimeter. This was from that homework or the assignment that counted as a quiz. You are going to use the big triangle here and compare it with this triangle over here. So if we turn it around to match it up, you get 7, 10, and 2x minus 2. 2x minus 2 will match with 7. 2x plus 4 will match with 10. So it's still just a proportion. I know it looks confusing, but it's really not. 2x minus 2 over 7 equals 2x plus 4 over 10. Parentheses. Let me move some space over here. Let's see. 10 times 2x minus 2 equals 7 times 2x plus 4. Distribute on both. You get 20x minus 20 equals 14x plus 28. Minus 14. 6x, I'll do two things at once, plus 20. (28) plus 20 is 48. Divided by 6, x is 8. So that's 8. GH is 2x minus 2. 2 times 8 is 16, minus 2, 14. HJ is 2x plus 4. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 4 is 20. And then perimeter of GHT. Be careful to read the question. GHD is this one on the side. So you have 7, you have 10, and then we just found 14. So you add those up and you get 31. All right? And that's it. Hope these helped. If you have any questions, I don't know. I usually don't check my email at home. I apologize. But good luck, and we can check before we start the test. Bye-bye. All right, so I said goodbye about 10 seconds ago, but the video's still playing. Why? Because there's an after-credit spoiler scene. And the spoiler scene is Mr. Rodriguez has recently become a part of another YouTube channel with videos. But I'm not going to tell you. It's not my page with all these reviews. There's another one. Bye-bye.